Now, next up, we have a keynote on the topic, Think Outside the Box. Brands and influencers creating a beneficial relationship together. I'm sure this one resonates with a lot of us at some level. Now, today, most of our audience is driven from social media, and most of marketing is done online. With the help of our brand influencers, such as myself, our speaker, Dr. Joscelyn Ramos Campbell, is here to tell us how brands can optimize their sales by investing in their relationship with media influencers. Now, let's dive into the details of this keynote by welcoming on stage Ms. Dr. Campbell, founder and president at Mami Innovative Media, with a background as a federal government public relations executive under both Bush and the Obama administrations. She founded Hope Torchlighters. Now, Dr. Campbell is an award-winning and nationally known for expertise in multimedia marketing and advocacy for people with disabilities. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Campbell. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to be talking about influencers. First of all, as a show of hands, has anyone here worked with influencers so far? Great. Now, does anyone consider themselves in this room an influencer right now? Okay, awesome. Does anyone right now think of themselves as an influencer because you got your kids to just go outside and take out the trash? There you go. You're an influencer right now if you did that. So as a show of hands, just right now, just applaud yourself. And if you don't applaud yourself, I am a therapist and I can work with you on that. So just applaud yourself anyway, okay? So first of all, just as you heard of my background, I have been in public relations for a very long time. My background actually in education is in pre-law, but I have worked for 10 years as a public relations executive in the Bush and Obama administration. When I had my twins, after that, I decided to go into myself to work in public relations, and I did marketing, I did online spokesperson for brands. So I have actually both, I've sat on both sides as an influencer, but also being on the side of working with brands, making those decisions of working with influencers. I've done television spokesperson, I've done that for most of my life. So I've done TV, I've done radio, print, and as a Latina online spokesperson and as an ambassador. So I have been on both sides of working as an influencer and working with brands to be the one to make those decisions. And as of last year, I was selected wonderfully, which was an honor to be given the Presidential Freedom Award as for self-sacrifice. The first recipient was Sarah Obama, the grandmother of President Obama. So I understand what it is to be on both sides of having those accountabilities, to having to say yes or no, to picking those people that are going to represent your brand, and then being the person to represent those brands. And one of the most important things is to find out who you want to work with. And to know who you want to work with, it depends on your business. You need to know what your business is. Who is your demographic? Who is your target audience? If you want to know what your influencers are, then you have to know what you're doing. What is your business? Who is your target audience? Who's your demographic? What is your niche? In order to find the people that you want to work with, then you have to know what you want to do first. So who's your key demographics? Is it family? Are you looking for Latinos? Are you looking for the multicultural market? Are you looking for general market? Are you looking only for techies? Are you looking for the special needs, the disability market? Are you looking first to know who you are? When you know who you are, then you can know, all right, I've identified what we're looking for, then we can go to my brand. Who are we looking to reach out to? Who is that target demographic? What are our values? What are we trying to align with? Are we going for that families? Are we going for a certain lifestyle? Are we going for that niche market, which is that multicultural market? Are we going for the Hispanics? Are we going for that multicultural? Are we going for a specific subset group? What are our goals? What is actually also, is it our budget, because there has to be a budget attached to it. Is it awareness? Are we going for a long term? These are things you have to go into before you start reaching out to those bloggers, before you start reaching out to the influencers. Identifying those key goals when you're looking for the influencers and bloggers. What are we trying to accomplish? Is it only in the beginning awareness and traffic? A lot of times people think, well, we're definitely trying to just do awareness and traffic, but then they start thinking, well, wait a minute. I also want to do, first we want to do awareness and traffic, but we also want to increase sales, which of course we want to do that, but we also want to do some tickets and giveaways. But yeah, wait a minute, we also want to do some giveaways and we also want to do some sponsored events. We also want to do, but they want to do that all in different segments and different ways. You have to know from the very beginning if this is going to be a long term, if this is going to be short term, and we need to have clear set goals before you start your campaigns and before you start your marketing initiatives. Because when you start in approaching and talking to bloggers and influencers, these key set goals need to be set out before you start reaching out to them. That is something that is very important. You need to set that precedent before you move and before you start working with them, because you are setting the goals for them. Remember that even though you do want to work with them and they know their goals and they know already because they are the subject expert matter, you are the subject expert matter in your business. So you need to tell them first what you want them to do. So you need to have these clear objectives of what you're willing to offer them before you reach out to them. One of the things we hear often, of course, is ROI, return on investment. But one of the most important things is ROR, return on relationship. This is something that is really big with influencers and really should be big with all of us as marketers and as sales. What is it that you're trying to accomplish when you're reaching out to those that you're trying to work with in that social media and digital marketing space? Are you trying to have a return on relationship? Is this something that you are trying to create? Are you trying to create just something that's going to be for a short term, or you're trying to invest in a relationship with marketers, with influencers, with bloggers that is going to be a long-term investment? So we like to say return on relationship. That was a phrase that was coined by Ted Rubin. Recommendations and referrals, social media and engagement, followers, fans, loyalty and repeat business, social sharing. This is something that you want to create with influencers and bloggers that can be a long-lasting relationship, not just something that is just going to be for a short term. You want to invest in them so you can get the best out of them. So ROR is the value that will accrue over time through connection, trust, loyalty, recommendations, and sharing. It's just like when you invest in a new client. You want to have and forge a relationship. Well, you're doing the same thing when you're investing with an influencer, a blogger. You want to invest in that relationship. You want to have that time with them. So you generate for the ROI, you listen to your customers and your followers. You deliver excellent customer service. You ask how your people want to be served. Remember the social part of social media. That's one of the biggest things that you see when you want to go, just think about some of the pages that you have or some of your favorite pages. If you look at the content that's on there, it's not always sale, 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 sale. Look at Ford's Facebook pages. Look at some of your favorite Facebook pages and think about it. It's not always one long sales pitch because nobody wants to be sold to all the time. You want to be able to go to those pages and find organic content. You want to go there and see things that are not all just one long commercial. When you think about social, you've got to think about engagement. Want people to come back to those pages and find things that has nothing to do with sales. Ford, we know, they sell cars. We all know that. But when you look at Ford's pages, it's not always about selling cars. Ford has things on there that have nothing to do with selling cars. They're talking about social justice. They're talking about social equity. They're talking about cultural history. They're talking about other things that have absolutely nothing to do with selling cars. Why? because they want you to keep coming back to their page for lifestyle content. They want you to keep coming back to their pages for cultural history. Those are engaged pages. This is what you want with your content. This is what an influencer can do. And actually, Ford's social media team is actually derived by not only their in-house, but by many bloggers and influencers who are actually creating their content. I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you about, as a Latina American woman, I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you right now about the Hispanic consumer. This is right now a huge market, multicultural market that many are not right now catering to. It's a $2.5 trillion market right now. Right now in the US, the Hispanic market is 2.5 trillion buying power. 1 in 4 Americans right now is a Hispanic, and 58% of the Hispanics in the US are under the age of 34, right now in the US. Hispanics make up nearly 25% of the US population. It is becoming one of the most influential and affluent in the US market right now. One of the things that marketers think of, because it's the traditional sense, is that US Hispanic, unfortunately, don't have, to be quite frank, they don't have money. The most underrated and the most, I am so sad to say, it is the most stereotypical of marketers to think that, when actually the US Hispanic is the one that is driving the consumer base right now. Right now, Hispanics shop online and offline with realtors, and they resonate with the Hispanic cultures. 88% of US Hispanics appreciate business that speak to them in Spanish, and 87% feel that Hispanic businesses that make a sincere effort to be part or invest in their communities deserve their loyalties. Before, it used to be okay to just put up Google Translate up on their websites and say, well, look, we translated the website, Google Translate's up there. That's not good enough anymore. You need to have, right now, your website, your basis, what you're delivering to your consumer needs to have el sabor Latino, which is what we like to say is the Latino flavor. You need to have there something that resonates with your constituents. Everyone right now needs to have something that has something for the Latinos. If you don't have something right now on your website, on your socials, that does not resonate with the Latino consumer, then you are missing out on potentially millions of dollars for your business. Right now, music, humor, celebrities, all of that right now is what the Latinos are looking for. Family. Family is huge for Latinos. Right now, the accultured Latino market is what we are looking at. Right now in America, the digital Latino, I'm gonna talk about the new digital Latina. She is a second or a first generation or third generation Latina. She's college educated. She owns a home before the age of 31. She's married with children. She's considered middle to upper class. She's on all social media platforms. She's living multiculturally because she's been born here, raised here. And she identifies herself as Latina or Hispanic American. Her allegiance is to the United States, but she is proud of her ancestral roots and of what her parents or her grandparents done. And she is the purse strings of the household. If you are not marketing to a Latina, and if you are not marketing to a Latino household who is now multicultural, she usually has an American husband, has bicultural children, then you are missing out on millions of dollars for your business. Finding your influencers. How do you find your influencers for your business? First of all, you check your insights. Look at all your social media, BuzzFeed, BuzzMo, all those kind of things. You look at all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things are giving you right now all of your insights. You check your hashtag. If you're not using, first of all, if you're not using any customized hashtags for your business, please start using that right now so that you can check and track who's talking about your business. So you can find that out right now. When you find out who's talking about your business, you can do an easy SEO search of who is talking about your business so you can find out your influencers. When you do an SEO search, you can also find out not only who's talking about your business, but for the influencers, but what is generating for your business. When you find out what's generating for your business, you're not only finding out who the influencers are, but you can find out what is content is coming up for your business. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it niche markets? Is families talking about your business? Are competitors talking about your business? You want to find out exactly what is coming up when the reviews are coming up. Are they negative? Are there bots that are only talking about it? Is there video content that's coming up? Are marketers talking about you just organically? Are people putting up reviews organically? You are wanting to find out what kind of content is being generated just by doing SEO searches, doing customized searches. You want to find that out. You want to do what you're doing right now, which is you attending a conference, you're networking. That's how you find out who your influencers are. You also want to connect with blogger groups. These are some of the names of some blogger groups right there as well. You want to connect with those blogger groups to find out where the influencers are that can be part of what you want to do. 68% of social media influencers, that's no surprise, are female. 84% of brands polled said they launched at least one influencer marketing campaign and last year, and 81 of those brands saw increased website traffic and sales. 56% of female influencers view other influencers as being more akin to business partners and do not view them as direct competitors. That's something that is always, when people hear that, they're always like, they're not competitor to them. No, because they feel as when they work together, they do campaign parties together, they host parties, Twitter parties together, Instagram views together, they do work as networking groups together. 98% of mom bloggers follow brands on social media and learn about new products and information through their social feeds. 48% of female influencers post content up to 3 times a day. That is not paid content, that is organic content that they're doing already. So those content that they're doing already can be content that you hire them for. They're already doing the work already. So when they ask whether they tend to prepare content for a brand before posting it, 60% of females responded in the affirmative, including testing products. So they're already doing this content every single day. Content that is not paid for. They're already doing that because this is what they do on a daily basis. You want to find out their relevance, their ongoing updating social media presence. They're already doing that. They're already creating content that offers and helps tips and resources. Real influencers, followers and likes. They have verified social media pages. What brands have they worked with? These are questions that you can ask. As a brand, you can ask these questions. Engagement. It's not always about the numbers. Micro influencers. I'd rather have an influencer that might have less than 10,000, less than 5,000. I'd rather have those than have someone that has over 1 million likes, have over 1 million likes on Instagram or 1 million followers on Facebook. Why? Because the one that has under 10,000 but has real engaged content, real comments, that's the one that has real engagement than the one that has 1 million likes but has a whole bunch of bots. That one is not going to bring me and to the brands. It's not going to make any influence. It's not going to make any decision makers. But the one that is engaged, the one that is making true comments, the one that I see that has only 5,000 likes, but I see that has 100 times, every time they make a comment, has 100 people liking, talking about that brand, is engaged content, that micro influencer I will go with every time. Because the other people that's great that you have 1 million likes, but no one posts anything when they post up a picture. Those are bots. I'd rather go with the person that's a micro influencer. That's real conversation. Pitches. As a brand, you will always get, a lot of times you'll get pitches. You're gonna get media kits. You're gonna get people that want to work with you. So what do those pitch look like when you get those? How do you know what's a good pitch? How do you know what's a bad pitch? This is an example of a good pitch. The name, short introduction. This is the name of a blogger. They explain to you what that blog is, the services they can provide to you. This is what they're gonna tell you, what their blog is. Here's the customized hashtag. They're gonna wanna tell you what their blog is, what they can offer you, who are other blogs or services that they have worked with. They're gonna show you what their scope of work is. That's very important. If they're a professional blogger, professional influencers, they should have worked with other companies. Let them show you that portfolio. And here's they want to build a relationship with you. Here's a link to their media kit. If they're professional, they should already have that. So that's a good pitch. And then, always important, when they finish a pitch, they should have all their social media content. You should not have to be looking around all over the place for where they have their social media content. All of that should be in one email to you, because as a professional, you might not be the only one that has to send that up the authority chain to get that approved. So everything should be in one email, easy for you as the brand to see. All in one email. Bad pitch, and this was actually a real pitch that I received. Dear blah, 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 I love your site. I have a huge following. Great. No backup with that. Traveling full-time, my readers love to travel. I write about blah, 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 blah. In exchange for this 2-hour tour, I can guarantee 17 blog posts and 40 social media mentions. 17 blog posts and 40 social media mentions for a 2-hour tour. Thanks, first name only, which was Jackie. She's not here, so I can say that. So never says the name of the blog or attaches a media kit or mentions stats. Closing with no details. Thanks, but no thanks, Jackie. That's a bad pitch. Don't say yes to this. Everybody say no. Say no, shake your heads. I don't like how you're doing this. Say no. No, thank you. We don't want that. This is how these media kits should look like. They should have the data that matters. They should be giving you all of these stats, their followers, their audience profile, their readership, if they have media appearances, all of that should be in there when they send that to you. As a professional, just the way you have to send contracts, just the way you have to back up your work, the same way they should be sending that to you, data that matters. All of that should be sent to you. How can we work together? It should be content creation, partnerships, collaborations, website takeover, brand ambassadorships, all of that should be sent to you. Ways of working together, clear points of contact. Let them be creative. Make those approvals painless and quick and painless. Aim for long-term relationship with the brand and not just the agency. Content collaboration. They're the ones that are their subject matter. Give them the freedom to do what they have to do. You want to invest in a long-term partnership and not just a one-night stand. This is what you want to do. You want to invest in them, and so they can invest with you. They're the ones that know what they want to do. Time is money. Time is money for you. Time is money for them. So plan for an overall budget when you're working with them. Figure out the materials and costs. If it's a per project rate, if it's an hourly rate, figure out what is working for your company and give them a standard pay for them. Let them figure out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you don't want to be giving them a, hey, we'll do this for an Amazon gift card. Those days are long over with. Negotiating. Understands that influencers are expecting a reasonable and appropriate pay for work. Good faith estimate. Don't offer low incentives like the free coupon. There has to be a benchmark of what is appropriate for you and what is appropriate for them. So expect to negotiate, open dialogue for a mutually beneficial relationship. Be clear in those contracts and agreements. Is it exclusivity? Are you having a non-disclosure agreement? Do you expect them to have a non-compete? If they're working with you, Can they not work with your competitor? Is there a number of blog posts, social media posts? What is it that you're expecting from them? Video or live content? Is it grants and rights of use material? Is travel involved? Payment schedule? All of that should be very clear in your contracts and agreements. Think ahead and outside the box. Creative concepts and ideas. Now you're leveraging their unique talents and passions, and you're maximizing your profits. There are the collaborate with the subject matter experts. They're the storyteller and the creator. Their blog, media coverage, they know their business the same way you know your business. So you want to actually collaborate with them as you know your business and let them do their business. But always, always knowing that you are in charge of your business, they are in charge of their business, but you two want to create that beneficial relationship together. I'm going to give you a case example here. McDonald's. This was CFL Me Encanta, which is Central Florida Me Encanta, which is I'm loving it in Spanish, which is McDonald's catchphrase. McDonald's was launching a new healthy 300-calorie meal, the blueberry banana oatmeal, across McDonald's location. Their emphasis, which is on Hispanic and multicultural communities. They had not done anything in Central Florida to raise and increase awareness to their McDonald's Spanish social media accounts, Me Encanta, and they hadn't done any type of digital marketing, and they wanted to do an event in Florida, but their caveat was they didn't think that Hispanics and that whole entire very transient area of Orlando, because we have so many travelers come in, I don't think that's gonna fly in Orlando to have that healthy new blueberry oatmeal. People are probably not gonna be interested, even though they have one of the largest McDonald's play areas and one of the largest McDonald's in Central Florida. I proposed to them, why don't we bring a proposal to bring awareness to the importance of healthy breakfast menu options at McDonald's. Let's have a 2-hour family-friendly event at your location. We'll bring in some bloggers. We'll do a live social media, and we'll do it on a weekend instead of a weekday. And we'll have a Twitter party, we'll have options, we'll have kids come in, and we'll have some social media influencers, including we'll have some actual people from the government come in as well. And we'll track it on social media and we'll report back to McDonald's. They agreed on it. They've never done one of those before. They thought maybe not in Orlando because it's, all the travel and stuff and so many people from outside, but they agreed to it. They said, all right, let's do it. So they came up with an invitation. I invited the bloggers. We had attendees from Central Florida bloggers, community leaders, Chamber of Commerce. Family-friendly event was held at the largest location. Attendees and the families received swag bags, contained healthy products, yoga mats, water bottles, all of that. Attendees were treated to arcade games. Kids loved all of that. And then they also not only had the free the blueberry, but then they also had the healthy menu selection. It was 9:30 to 11:30, but the family stayed until 2. About 200 people were in attendance. The goal was to create a family-friendly event, and the weekend experience is what changed it, because many of their events they were always trying to hold was during the week. That's why you have to know your customer and know thy market. As they said here on the panel before, know the customer, know thy market. Having it on the weekend changed the entire perspective, because having it on the weekend meant what? No one had to change their schedule during the week. Families were able to come. We had a live Twitter party, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. It opened it up not only to Central Florida, but to obviously being online to a greater national following. Invited social media and bloggers were posting positively before, during, and after. People online were following the hashtag engagement. Within 30 minutes, it became trending online, the hashtag. We had over 1 million impressions. Rapid increase, and the Orlando, Florida Business Journal picked it up and said why Central Florida companies should be building relationships with bloggers. That is what we're talking about, doing something outside of the box. When you do things outside of the box, things can work, but you have to be open to creating those synergies and creating those opportunities to think outside of the box. We've got 2 minutes left, so I want to just be transparent, set expectations, and work together, give positive feedback and constructive input, be accessible, give immediate notification of any changes or delays or expected delays, and of course you want to follow the FTC guidelines. Ethical, always, making connections and becoming a resource, taking extra initiatives, coming up with solutions to improve business relationship, and bring new ideas to create business and offer content services, whether it's writing, photo, video, or consulting. I want to just wrap this up, and I don't want to belabor the time more to give anyone any information, time to give any questions or answers right now. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. Yes, sir. I think they're going to give you a mic, I think.
Yeah. I was wondering, contracting influencers.
Yes.
What went wrong with the Bud Light influencer? And so, because it looked like a lose-lose situation instead of a win-win situation.
Yeah. Part of that with the Bud Light was the way they delivered that information to the influencers. Also, the way they went about that in the beginning with the Bud Light and the way they streamed that, Bud Light they've done a lot of great content, but the way they selected the influencers, the way that was portrayed in the media, they've had to do a lot of backtracking on that. And so that was not done in the most efficient and ethical manner as well. So they have now had to backstep all of that. And so unfortunately, when you do things like that without also covering your bases, without having those team meetings that are so important before you publicly state that, they're learning that the hard way, that they should have not done that. So that's been a big lesson for them in PR.
And I'm sorry, Doctor, that's the only question we have time for.
Okay, thank you. And anyone in those pink bags is my contact information. If anyone wants to meet with me or chat with me, that has all my info. Thank you so much, everyone.